Under threatening skies, we welcome you to the Marco Simoncelli circuit for the final time this weekend to cap off what has been a fabulous start to the 13th season of the world's most competitive junior racing series. Good afternoon. Nice to have your company wherever you join us live around the world. Yes, you can see the sun is not as brightly shining as it was yesterday. 48 drivers from around the world we've raced 3 times this weekend. The final 36 race in what is the final of the first round this weekend here at Misano on Italy's Adriatic coast. Alpac Soy, David Kosman, Christopher. There are the Prema drivers from Turkey and Romania respectively. On the front row of the grid, they will lead off a Prema 1, 2, 3, 4. And the first non-red car is David Walter out of grid 5. Before we get to the drivers, let's speak with the legendary Grand Prix driver, Riccardo Patrese.
Hi everybody, everything is ready here for the final racing grid with me, Riccardo Patrese, Formula 1 drivers, our new brand ambassador. Hi Riccardo.
Hi everybody, nice day today. We are here for the final of this first weekend of F4 Italian Championship.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting also because the weather is so-so, and if it comes a little bit of rain, it can be even more challenging, definitely.
It's been an intensive weekend, so what's your impression?
Well, the impression is Formula 4, fantastic, but many other races here in Nachi weekend. And I have to say that for all the fans, the area is very good because they can touch really and breathe motor racing air. And you can really enjoy nice races, very competitive races. So at the end of the day, I like to say that if you want really to have enjoyment, you have to come to these weekends because,
and to look out.
Yes, to look at that because really you can have satisfaction.
And what about the drivers? They are very young but very fighter.
Well, they are young, they are mini professional. Definitely they have a lot of advices from outside, and of course because of that we can see these drivers that now they are 15, 16, they can go to Formula 1 in a very short period, and that is the advantage to have so many information that they can teach them how to act in the proper way.
In the end, it's always a mix between being professional, being young, crazy, but at the same time be serious and do what you have to do.
Yes, I gave a suggestion when we had the briefing with Scuola Federale that, okay, you must be professional, but you don't have to forget to smile, because sometimes they don't smile enough, because motor racing is enjoyment, and because of that you need to be happy, not always with a sad face.
Good, nice. And what's going through the mind of a driver when you are in grid before just the moment before you start?
Well, everybody has his own feelings. In my case, I remember the last part of my career I was quite relaxed. I could sleep before half an hour before the Grand Prix, no problem. A little bit of relax. So I think you needed to be focused on what you have to do. The start, that is a crucial moment, and of course because you are in the start is the most critical moment because all the cars they are very close together. Try to be in a position that you don't have problems.
But in your case, no anxiety, no stress, just...
No. You don't have to. You have. It's not easy, but with the time you need to get self-confidence and relaxation, and so you can be focused on what you do.
And in your career as well, you change your way to start. I mean, first of all, maybe you was more anxiety and then...
Of course, yes. When I did my first Grand Prix, I remember I was quite tense. Then after 17 years of Formula 1, I was more relaxed. That's for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody. Ciao.
Former world champion Riccardo Patrese speaking with Laura Cola on the grid. 256 Formula One starts. He won Monaco in 1982. He was the 1976 Italian and European Formula 3 champion. And before you post or tweet, yes, he won the 1974 FIA World Kart Racing Championships at Estoril in Portugal, beating home a very young Eddie Cheever. Laura Cola is down on the grid speaking with the pole sitter Alp Aksoy.
Hi, another chance to make the most of starting on pole and consolidate the lead.
Yeah, of course it's going to be an interesting race. We're starting on pole. Right now there's a bit of a drop off the rain, but yeah, the conditions are going to be the same for everyone, and we're going to do our best, and let's see.
Good luck.
We have a rookie starting on pole position. Alp Aksoy from Istanbul in Turkey, not only one of the youngest drivers here, but has beaten some of the more seasoned campaigners to start P1 for this 36-car grid for the final. The Prema Racing team lock out the first four positions. Alp, alongside David Kosman, Christopher, Nicola Macagnani, who won race 3 this morning, is alongside the Ukrainian Alexander Bondarev. Walter on the podium this morning, the first non-Prema driver. He's ahead of Ari Barnsel, Ian Kralik, Lucas Samalisto. Here comes the attack from the US Racing team. Alexander Savinkov and Ludovico Busso and Ed Robinson. So with the exception of Walter, it's Prema versus US Racing. That battle rages on. Bader Al Salati for Jensa Motorsport, head of Thomas Behrman, Andy Consani. A great drive this morning. Florentina Hatama, young Swiss rookie. Oscar de Petol, the Kiwi, starting on the outside, 8th row of the grid for PHM Racing. Pedro Lima has had a great first weekend, starting alongside the Australian Noah Killian. What about Nud Nielsen, P19 in this 48-car field for the Real Racing team ahead of Alex Ruta. Then it's Roland Kuklane, Kenzo Craigie, the former World Kart Racing champion, Levi Ahn, and the second-generation racer Becco Bernoldi, one of 5 Brazilians here in Italy this weekend. Christian Costoya, crashing backwards across the line this morning, puts him back on grid 25 alongside Kingsley Zheng, Nicolas Cortez, their Mexico, and Augustus Toniolo do Brasil out of grid 28. The second Kiwi, Emily Cotti, alongside F1 Academy driver Peyton Westcott, the Californian, Fabrizio Fogazza, and Andre Rodriguez, who was penalised after contact with Costoya this morning. Emma Felbermeyer is alongside Jacopo Martinez, Lupa Roykov, and Igor Polak, second Murphy Racing driver, scrapes onto the grid, unfortunately at the expense of the Italian Ginevra Pansieri. We'll see her back at Vallelunga in 2 weeks' time. The second round of the championship as we set off on the formation lap. If you're just joining us, it is a record-breaking weekend. 48 drivers, an all-time record in the Italian F4 Championship. We may be down one because Emma Felbermeyer, highly rated Austrian from the F1 Academy Series, has not got away. If she does fire up, she will have to start from the back of the grid. That is incredibly unfortunate for Emma Felbermeyer, who was running 11th right up until the penultimate lap yesterday when contact with her teammate gave her a puncture. We hope Emma can get underway. Look at this, threatening skies here at Misano. It is the second of 10 racing weekends. The Automobile Club of Italy after Imola 2 weeks ago. After this, the GT Endurance Championship. As Ed Robinson goes through the 3-hour GT3 race, incredibly 54 cars will take to the circuit in the GT3 series at the conclusion of this race, which is about to get rained on from a great height. We're just being told by race control as they come out of Tramonto at the far part of the circuit, down the back straight. It is raining right on cue here at Misano. 36 drivers on a slick circuit. Look at Alp Aksoy light up the rears. Cosman Christopher, 98. So 4 Prema drivers, 1 Maffi Racing drivers. And then look at this, the US Racing attack, including Lucas Samalisto, who rolled to a stop under safety car conditions whilst in the race lead this morning. Luca, who took pole position on Friday night. There's Thomas going through. Just ahead of Andy Consani. Samalisto from grid 8. 13 different teams. The first round of the Italian F.4 Championship. The 13th season of the world's most competitive junior racing series, presented by the Automobile Club of Italy, together with WSK Promotion. Word coming through from around the circuit as Alp Axoy lifts the visor and looks around. Yes, it is starting to rain increasingly heavily here at Misano. The teams down in pit lane are ready with wet tyres. Oh boy, you can see the drops of rain on the camera here at Misano on Italy's Adriatic coast. Alp Axoy on pole position for the 4th final race of the weekend here at Misano. The first round of the Italian F4 Championship. Emma Felbermeyer has been pushed into pit lane. You can see the PHM racing team desperately working on the Austrian's car to get her into the race. We welcome you to Misano for the 4th final time. Here this weekend, we race. Behrman has stalled. Thomas goes nowhere and smash into the back of the Englishman. Rodriguez into the wall. A disastrous start. Look at Behrman's car. Has been destroyed. The yellow flag is flying inevitably. We will have the safety car come out onto the circuit. Andre Rodriguez has got going with severe damage to the front of his car. Alp Axoy does not know what's happened. Look at this. Behrman, the 87 Van Amersfoort racing car, it is destroyed. Thomas is out. Thankfully, he waves. He is fine. The safety car comes out onto the circuit after a massive crash moments after the start of the 4th final race. Roykov, Igor Polak have gone through. Oscar Petel was also involved, as well as Andrea Rodriguez. Axoy took the race lead from Macagnani, Kosman Christopher Bondarev, Walter P5, exactly where the Dane started. Cortez was the other driver involved. Look at this, Behrman to the left of your screen. Thomas goes nowhere. Nielsen does superbly well to get by, and then smack the Mexican right into the back of the Englishman. Rodriguez to the grass, into the wall goes the American. Oscar Peto at the back of the pack, virtually coming to a stop. Thomas, that was a huge impact. Fortunately, he is okay. To the right of your screen, Thomas Behrman stalls. Cortez, the Mexican, a huge hit. And it also has eliminated Augustus Toniolo. Cortez into the back. Toniolo with damage. As the field will pass through pit lane. Behind the safety car with Alp Axoy in the race lead from Macagnani, David Kosman Christopher, Bondarev, Walter, Bansal, Samalisto, Kralik, Savinkov and Bader Al-Salati did make up a couple of positions. A huge crash moments after the start. The track being cleared, Augustus Toniolo's car is being lifted off the side of the circuit by the crane. There is damage massive to the Trident racing car, as well as that of Thomas Behrman. A sensational and not in a positive manner start. There's Cortez' car to the left of your screen. Look at the damage to Thomas's car to the right. Thankfully, Thomas is okay. Steps out of car 87. Behrman's afternoon is over. This is Augustus Toniolo's car. Huge damage to the front left. It looks as though the actual tub and chassis of the Trident racing car will be okay. His weekend is certainly over. We'll see him back at Vallelunga in 2 weeks' time. Alp Axoy with the race lead from Macagnani, David Kosman Christopher, and it's Bondarev, Walter, Bansal. There's Lucas Samalisto from grid 8. Yesterday's race 2 winner has made up a single position to find his Indian teammate. Just behind this will take some time. The rain continues to fall as the field go down through Tramonto. Sunset Corner, we won't see that tonight because it is grey, gloomy, overcast and increasingly wet. There is Bader Al Salati, who's had a super first weekend, just ahead of Ludovico Busso in car 29, Consani Robinson, Alves, Florentin Hatama. P15, the final points paying position. Remember, we do pay down to 15th place in 2026. He's the second rookie, ahead of Kilian, Ruta and Nud Nielsen for Real Racing. Sole entry for the Romanian team. Third rookie on the circuit. There's Costoya in P23 for Peyton Westcott. An update on Emma Felbermeyer as well. She's still parked in pit lane. The car did not fire on the formation lap. That is hugely disappointing for the highly rated Austrian, the third generation racer. Of course, her grandfather with 6 starts in the Le Mans 24-hour race. She does not start after being impressively quick all weekend. One of 3 F1 Academy drivers here this weekend, along with Red Bull driver Rafael Ferreira and Peyton Westcott, who was on the podium in Shanghai. The Californian, she's still there in P24. We'll get a glimpse of Peyton going through in just a moment. Car 35, lightly raining still here at Misano. The 4th final race, and it's a sensational start. Thomas Behrman has stalled on the line. There's Cortez car being dragged away. Great work at the team, by the team here at Marco Simoncelli Circuit, host venue of the San Marino MotoGP. The track almost now clear. We've lost the Brazilian, the Mexican and the Englishman. The Austrian Emma Felbermeyer's out. Aksoy from pole, the young rookie from Istanbul, is the race leader. Will have at least one more lap under safety car. The track almost clear. Luba Roykov, Igor Polak, they've also gone through pit lane, as has Emily Cotti. And Oscar Repetto, who came to a stop. There's the news we wanted to see in the bottom left of your screen. We go green next time around, the early stage of the season, and a rookie leads. The Roman in second. Cosmo Christopher, DCC in P3 from Bondarev. And Walter on your screen for the Murphy Racing Team. Lights up the rears. Don't discount David from upsetting the freight train that is the Prema Racing Team and us racing here this afternoon. Supported this weekend, making the trip down, is the great Jorn Haase, 1984 World Kart Racing Champion, supporting his young countryman. David Walter, the other, is Nud Nielsen, who's up into P8, 18 I should say, and the third rookie. So we go green next time round. Alpak Soy, down through the Caro curves. Macagnani, David Cosma Christopher. Bondarev, Walter, Pansal, Lucas Samalisto. Car 7 in P7. The green flag flies. They cannot pass until we cross the now cleared start-finish line. Aksoy goes, the Roman goes with the Turk. It is still raining. They come out of the final corner and running wide off the road. As they come across the line, we watch Summer Listo. Walter's gone through into P4. Takes Bondarev. Barnsell. Fabulous pass from Ari, but it's Al Baksoy who goes through to take the race lead from Nicolo Macagnani. David Cosma Christopher. There's Summer Listo. Macagnani, the race 2 winner this morning, on the back of his young Turkish teammate. The track is greasy. It is raining here at Misano. The Turk and the Roman out from pole position, out from Istanbul. We know there are so many of you watching on live. Your young countryman, P1, in the final of the first round of the Italian F.4 Championship, as David fires it down the inside. What a fantastic pass. Walters up onto the podium again. Ari Bansal follows him through. Out front, Macagnani still trying to attack his Turkish teammate. Samalisto from Alexander Savinkov. They go down the back straight on a greasy circuit at 228 kilometers an hour. On the marbles, watch Walter. He will line up the both of them. Barnsel is flying on the back of the Dane. Into turn 14. Barnsel around the outside. Adi Barnsel has got grip to spare. What a move from the Indian. He's taken him. This is incredible. Adi Barnsel is up into second place. Makanyani runs off the road. Walter back to P4. It continues to rain here at Misano as Walter goes wide. Alpaxoy, P1, the world's fastest Indian, in second place. Adi Barnsel looking good here this afternoon. David Walter fighting with Nicola Makanyani. A fantastic restart. The final race, the first round, the Italian F.4 Championship here on Italy's Adriatic coast at Misano. We go through the Rio curves. Down the inside straight into turn 8. Bondarev on the back of Savinkov. 1.5 Ukrainians on your screen fighting for position 5. Move down the inside. Bondi takes Savinkov. Nice pass. Cosmo Christopher is falling backwards. He's into P7. Under attack from you-know-who. It's Lucas Samalisto. There's Kralling, Konsani, Badir Al-Salati, superb again from the Qatari. Walter in P4, Adi Barnsel, the GB4 champion, can potentially win this as Savinkov tries to fight back, does Alexander on Alexander. David Cosmo Christopher around the outside, he'll do it again. Adi Barnsel briefly into the race lead but runs out of road. He's on the outside, it becomes the inside, does not lift. Alpaxoy, superb. Here comes TW. Walter on the charge for the Murphy Racing Team. What a race here this afternoon on Italy's Adriatic coast here at Misano, and the final race of the weekend. It has come alive. Aksoy, Barnsel with a barnstorming drive. The Indian in P2. The Dane in third. The Turk leads. The Roman 4. Nicola Makanyani tries to fight back. Then it's Savinkov, Bondarev. Cosmo Christopher going through. That was he ahead of Lucas Samalisto, who does not have the speed here this afternoon compared to this morning, as Badir Al-Salati locks up on the inside of the pole. Alexander Ruta. Pedro Lima, Ed Robinson, Kenzo Craigie up to P16, the second rookie. And it's Kilian Hatama, Nielsen, Costoya in P20. Big dive down the inside from Alexander Ruta, car 3 on the inside of the Jensen Motorsport Qatari. Here's Makanyani fighting with David Walter. Gets the run, gets the drive as they go back down the back straight. And Alpaxoy, look at this. 227, 228 kilometers an hour. The Turk trying to shake the Indian. The Dane in third. The Roman races around the outside. Here comes Nico. The Ferrari junior driver. This is David Cosmo Christopher. Still there, but he's back to P8 in car 98. The best race we have seen for seasons in the Italian F4 Championship as Badir puts it almost into the gravel. Consani fighting with David Cosmo Christopher. Going wide, Ian Kralik just behind. Then the Sicilian, Ludovico Busso, Ruta, Al-Salati, Robinson, Craigie, Kilian, Hattemer, Costoya, Levian, Kuklane, Nielsen, Martinez, Sheng, Roykov, Peyton Westcott, Emily Cotti, Oscar de Petro, the two Kiwis racing together from Focata, Bernaldi, Dos Meninos do Brasil, and Igor Polak rounds out the field. Aksoy continues to lead under immense pressure. The driver from Bangalore in India, the GB4 champion for the German US Racing Team in P2. This is outstanding from Adi Barnsel. Coming from P6, dive down the inside, Savinkov. Trying to take Makanyani. Remember, the Roman won this morning. He was fighting Walter for the final step of the podium just a moment ago. So the rain that started to fall on the formation lap has eased up ever so slightly. This just a moment ago, Nud Nielsen. Just a position ahead, Florentin Hattama. Kingsley Zhang from China, who had a tough race yesterday, but a good comeback this morning. And Nud Nielsen, they make contact, they do continue on. But there is damage to the Chinese Prema Racing driver's car. Aksoy, P1, the gap 0.4. Kosman Christopher now trying to find some rhythm. He's behind the German, Ian Kralik, into the final corner, the final third of the final race, the first weekend of the 13th season of the Italian F4 Championship, presented by the Automobile Club of Italy and WSK Promotion. Here at the home of the San Marino MotoGP, as the Dane who took Maffi Racing's first ever Italian podium this morning, he's looking at another. He goes fastest with a 37.326, so the track condition, not too bad. They're about 2 seconds off their absolute dry weather pace. The rain falling on the formation lap, it has stopped for the moment. Aksoy down into La Quercia, turn 8. Noah Killian, the Sydney sider, the Australian, leaves pit lane after a quick stop. Will rejoin, but down in 30th and final place. Aksoy, the gap out to 0.6. This is Bondarev. Consani behind. The Mercedes Junior fighting with the Williams F1 Academy Junior driver. Aksoy still trying to shake Bouncel. Consani around the outside of Bondi. They've gone wheel to wheel over the past half decade in WSK World Karting. They continue to do so. Here at Misano, Bondarev defends. Consani lines up. Ian Kralik, the German for the German US Racing team, just behind, looking to pounce on the French driver for the French RHGP team. Now the rain starting to fall slightly again into that part of the circuit. Over the ripple strip. Ruta, Busso, Pedro Lima, I should say, and Kenzo Craigie, Al-Salati, Robinson, Costoya up to 17. So the gap still stays at 0.3 of a second. Costoya, who's had a tough first weekend in the Italian Championship, the McLaren Junior. He will come good, I promise you. The Spaniard is a superstar. Has just had a tough debut though. Has just set the fastest lap of the race, showing the pace, which we well know him for, Christian Costoya with a 37 dead. Aksoy, Bouncel, and David Walter. If you're just joining us, Thomas Behrman stalling on the line, a massive start line crash. He was collected by the Mexican Nicolas Cortez. Augustus Toniolo also involved. Those three drivers are out. Also Andre Rodriguez, who was forced off track into the wall. The American has retired, and Emma Felbermeyer unfortunately did not start. As we get back to the fight for the front, Bouncel on the back of Aksoy. Consani trying to line up Bondarev again. The battle between Williams and Mercedes continues. Bondarev holds them off, but they're starting to bottleneck. Behind the driver from Kiev in Ukraine, the former European, the former WSK kart racing champion, second year in the Italian series. There's Ruta just behind, going wide in the Van Amersfoort racing car. Consani down into turn 1. Andy in P8 from Kralik behind. Ruta in P10. Alpaxoy still P1. Here comes Luca. But is it too little, too late? Car 7 in P6. The track's starting to improve. David Walter works the wheel. The Dane, a podium this morning, but potentially can stand on the top step. He's just got under 7 minutes, plus 1 lap. As we see the 29 of Ludovico Busso go round, does rejoin. Just a local yellow, which will be rejoined, which will be withdrawn as Ludovico Busso, the driver from Ragusa in Sicilia, gets back on track, and we stay green once again. Lap 10, race 4, round 1. This is Busso, just a moment to go. Ooh. Front right to left rear. Well, you saw the result of that. Pedro Lima, the Brazilian, into the back of the Sicilian. Move down the inside. Savinkov on Makinyani. The Russian-Ukrainian takes the Roman who won this morning. Samalisto with a 36.905. The Finn just behind. This is Andy Consani just behind. Cosman Christopher, Crowling, Ruta and Bondarev all in that battle. Then back to Kenzo Craigie. There's the RSGP driver. The second of the Mercedes AMG Junior drivers. Axoy with a 36.6. 0.3 of a second. He goes faster than Luca Samalisto. So the track is greasy, but it is dry just for the moment. Light rain falling on the formation lap as we go into the final 5 minutes. We see Pedro Lima, the Brazilian, down into pit lane. The Van Amersfoort Racing team go to work. They've still got Alexander Ruta and the Brazilian in the race after losing their English driver, Thomas Behrman. On the start, he does rejoin way down in 28th position. Ruta will get a tremendous run on the back of Ian Crowley, goes wide, gets the engine RPM. These are the speeds at the start-finish line at this point of the circuit on the back straight. The telemetry telling us 227, 228 kilometres an hour. Samalisto defending from Roman Makinyani. The Roman, I should say. Nico. Race 2 winner this morning, but does not seem to have the car here this afternoon. Under threatening skies here at Misano. Alpaxoy, 0.6 of a second ahead of Ari Bansal, who has driven brilliantly. Still having to defend from David Walter. An incident in turn 14. We'll try and bring you up to date with what's happened there in just a moment. This is the reason why the yellow flag is flying. As we see Roland Kuklane into the gravel. Nicely done from the Estonian. Back on track. And we stay green. The track greasy. Stays off the racing line. Keeps the engine still fired. Roland Kuklane has fallen down to P28, but still on track. Still trying to make it to the checkered flag. Consani pulling away now from Bondarev. The fight for the lead, it is getting closer. 0.3 of a second. This is Savinkov, a step off the podium. The second of the US racing drivers. The team of Gerhard Unger and Ralf Schumacher. It's the Prema Racing Team P1 with their Turkish rookie Alpaxoy. Makinyani goes through. P6 for the top Italian. It is Turkey, India and Denmark. 1, 2, 3 in the final round of the first race of the Italian F4 Championship for 2026. Here's Bondarev from Kralik and David Cosman Christopher. Ruta behind and Kenzo Craigie. Move around the outside from Ian Kralik, now ducks back to the inside. Bondarev has spent half this race defending, goes wide, runs off the road. The German can't take him. This time he can. Around the outside, fabulous pass from Ian Kralik. And he puts the Williams F1 Junior back into position 9. Next is David Cosman Christopher starting to recover. Remember, the Romanian, second year in the Italian F4 Championship, started out at P2. Kenzo Craigie makes his way on through, the former World Kart Racing champion. Remember the last lap, the last corner of PFI in England 2 years ago when he took that FIA title. Makes the move down the inside, does KC. In car 34, Alexander Ruta. Ready to fight this weekend. The pole holds off the French, Jamaican, Englishman for the French RSGP team. For the moment, 28 nationalities represented here this weekend. The first round of the Italian F4 Championship. 48 drivers, 13 teams. As Kenzo Craigie with the Qatari right behind him. It is still Turkey, India, and Denmark. 1, 2, 3. Down the back straight, Ari Bansal has driven brilliantly, but just lacks that final thousandth of a second. David Walter, P3, was delighted this morning, but now wants the victory. Bader Al Salati. Look at Costoya, who's come charging up into the final points paying position. The McLaren Junior. This is why we told you to watch out for Christian. Had a tough first weekend coming from grid 25. He's in P15. He'll pick up another position here as Al Salati, Ruta and Robinson. They fight the Prema duo. Just ahead, Bondarev and David Kosman Christopher from the eastern side of Europe, the Ukrainian and the Romanian. Aksoy still in the race lead, but the gap is down to 0.2 of a second. Samuelisto with a 36.1. Fastest on circuit, but he won't win here this afternoon, seemingly. Luca in P5. This is Kenzo defending and attacking the super impressive Qatari for the Qatari Motorsports Federation home circuit of Lusail. In Qatar, Bader Al Salati for the Genza Motorsport team from Switzerland. P12, second year in the series. Down into La Quercia. So it will be the last lap next time round. Costoya! Christian goes on down the inside of Robinson. To be fair, the British Englishman did give him space and holds the place. Costoya can't do it. There's Levian as well, trying to get the final point currently in P16, also for the Genza Motorsport team. We've passed the 25-minute mark of what has been a fantastic final. The first round of the Italian F4 Championship for 2026. Costoya, P15 in car 1 from 25th on the grid. The McLaren Junior, the 5-time WSK Kart Racing champion. Super recovery after a tough weekend. He's behind Robinson and the second rookie, Kenzo Craigie. The first rookie, still P1 outright. His name is Albaksoy. We can hear you cheering all the way from Istanbul in Turkey. Half a lap now away from victory in the final. The first round of the Italian F4 Championship. Luca almost into the 135s. He's too far back though, 2.4 seconds off the race lead. P5 behind Savinkov, Walter still P3. This is Macagnani going through, ahead of Consani, down into La Quercia for the final time. Barnsel with one final attack. The Indian on the back of the Turk ahead of the Dane. It is getting darker, colder, and much more grey here at Misano. Into Tramonto. Look at the line from Barnsel. This is Walter. The US Racing duo, Savinkov and Samuelisto. Luke is going to get his teammate here. He'll get the slipstream. Barnsel does likewise down the back straight. Aksoy trying to shake the world's fastest Indian. Watch David Walter as Savinkov and Samuelisto go wheel to wheel. There are two final opportunities for Barnsel to take a historic victory. Aksoy locks up as Samuelisto goes off the road, halts on the outside. Into turn 14. Ari Barnsel to attack. What a race to open the Italian F4 Championship for 2026. The checkered flag will wave from Istanbul in Turkey. Alp Aksoy, the rookie, takes a sensational victory here at Misano. Barnsel outstanding to come storming home to second place. Another podium for the Mafia Racing driver David Walter, DW in P3. What a race here this afternoon under threatening skies on Italy's Adriatic coast. Aksoy takes the victory. A rookie from Turkey leads the Italian Championship. What a start to 2026. Aksoy has taken victory by barely a car length. 0.2 of a second from pole position. He did not have it easy. Opens the visor to get some fresh air. Wins it from Barnsel, who was just brilliant. Outshone his Finnish teammate, Luca Samuelisto, who recovers for P5. Remember, it is a long championship as we go to Vallelunga in 2 weeks' time. And then to the Cathedral of Speed, the home of the Italian Grand Prix. Monza for round 3, Mugello, Imola. Back here at Misano for the penultimate round of the series. It's a long way until we go to the Tuscan countryside on November 1 to race at Mugello, the series final. We'll check the positions for you in just a moment. Incidentally, Aksoy not only wins outright, but he's the top rookie. Kenzo Craigie as the second rookie, and Levi An, P16, behind Kostoya, who takes the final point to stand on the rookie podium as well. Alpaksoy takes victory from Ari Bansel. Walter again on the podium. Savinkov, Samalisto, Makanyani, Konsani, Kraling, Bondarev, Cosmo Christopher. Ruta, excellent this weekend, as was Bader Al-Salati. Kenzo Craigie, second rookie home from Robinson. And from Grit 25, the final point, the third rookie for Christian Kostoya. Peyton Westcott wins the Women's Trophy, the F1 Academy driver. 5 women racing here this weekend. Leading home Emily Cotti. Unfortunately, Emma Felbermeyer did not start. Rafaela Ferreira and Ginevra Panzeri. We'll see them back for round 2 at Vallelunga, where this driver, the young 15-year-old from Istanbul, leads the championship, going to Rome in 2 weeks' time. That's an emotional victory, celebrating with his father to the left of screen. Personal trainer Dean, who mentored King Nakamura Berta to the title last year.
Just come away a minute, mate. Yeah. Just come away. Well.
Much has been said in the off-season. I don't speak Turkish, but fortunately that was in English. He's very proud mother, Aishgul, watching on from Istanbul. Her boy has won here this afternoon. David Walter, DW in P3 for the second time today for the Maffei Racing team. What a turn up for the Swiss team. Ari Bansel, outstanding. That was brilliant from the Indian. He's the top US racing driver to come home in second place. Alpaksoy, the young Turkish rookie, is the race winner here this afternoon. And speaking with Laura Cola.
Congratulations, no mistakes, no fear, a very perfect race and a second win for you.
Yeah, it was really good. Also, Ari, he drove a really good race. He put the pressure on, but I also did a good job, no mistakes. And this one was for my mom. I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We all do, Aishgul. Congratulations to you home in Istanbul. Very proud of your boy as we look at the highlights from a cracking final race here at Misano. Alpaksoy from pole position, but the chaos was just behind us. Thomas Behrman stalled on the line and was collected in spectacular and dramatic fashion by the Mexican, Nicolas Cortez. Behrman was out, thankfully. The Englishman gives the thumbs up. He was okay, as was Nicolas Cortez. Rodriguez and Augustus Toniolo also caught up in that incident. The rain started to fall. The green flag flew. Alpaksoy under tremendous pressure, but the driver on the charge was from Bangalore in India. The top US racing driver, Ari Bansel, was just brilliant. He was carving through the field, making his way by Savinkov, by Walter, by Makanyani, going through up into second place. Makanyani having to defend from Savinkov. Roland Kuklani going around on a greasy circuit. The Estonian back on track. Bondarev defending for his life from the German Ian Kralik. Savinkov and Luca Samalisto, the two teammates, the final corner of the final lap. Alpaksoy holding off a hard-charging Indian, Ari Bansel. The Dane in third for the second time today, David Walter. Much said in the off-season, but do not write off the team from Grisignano in Vicenza, the Prema Racing team, with their Indian driver, win round 1 here as we go to Vallelunga in 2 weeks' time. David Walter from Denmark, P3 in the final here this afternoon for the Swiss Mafia racing team.
Signori, lo abbiamo detto ieri, velocissimo già sul podio, ma questa volta nella finale ha fatto valere il suo grande potenziale. Arriva dalla Turchia, difende i colori del team Prema Racing e conquista Misano. Hasan Al-Aksoy, accompagnato dallo staff di Prema Racing.
Adi Bansal, well-deserved podium in second place. And now Baksoy, Hassan takes the victory. Once again, a great pleasure to have Mr. Riccardo Patrese, 6 times Formula One Grand Prix race winner. After 256 starts from 1977 through to Adelaide in 1993, brand ambassador for the Automobile Club of Italy, Riccardo presents the trophies to David, Ari and the race winner, Alp Aksoy.
Insieme allo staff di Prema Racing. E ora è il momento di sollevare il cappello per ascoltare l'inno nazionale turco. Un grande applauso al podio. So please guys, can you just stay all together on the main step of the podium with the trophies for the
Well, what a cracking end to the first round of the Italian F4 Championship. 7 rounds, the 13th season of the world's most competitive junior car racing series, brought to you by the Automobile Club of Italy, together with WSK Promotion. We have a Turk, an Indian and a Dane on the podium to conclude a fantastic race. Well, the rain is threatening. We hope for better weather in 2 weeks' time. That's at the Long Valley, Vallelunga, the second round of the series. We'll see you in Rome in a fortnight.